Well, hello there, YouTube, and welcome to Monday's edition of The Breakfast Club. I'm Got That Funk. I'd like to thank you for joining me. You know, one topic that we've talked about both on this Breakfast Club channel and the one Dev Shell started way back when, which has got a little bit too much conversation almost, is the topic I'm going to be talking about right now. And the reason I'm talking about it is because this problem doesn't go away. In fact, it seems to be getting worse and worse as time goes on. And that is the problem of the police in the United States killing unarmed civilians. In this case, I'm talking about the police execution of Daniel Shaver. Daniel Shaver was killed by a police officer in a hotel hallway in 2016. And last week, at the end of the week, his killer cop, whose name was Philip Brailsford, was acquitted of the charges of murder and manslaughter. And the video footage from his body cam wasn't released to the public until Friday. And on Friday is when I obviously first saw the video. Now, this video is disturbing for a lot of reasons, and I'm going to link a couple of different copies of it in the description below. I'm going to link the copy of the raw footage, and I'm also going to link a TMZ spot about it, because that guy gives a little bit of commentary as well as to add to this commentary, I suppose. But I think it's important for you, if you haven't already seen the video, to watch the entire thing. The actual execution is at about 4.5 minutes into the video, but it's everything leading up to that which gives it its context and makes it even more disturbing. Because a lot of times when the cops kill someone who's unarmed, people say, oh, well, you know, the suspect shouldn't have ran away, or some other excuse why excessive force was applicable in this particular circumstance. The woman and man in question, who the cop was confronting in the hallway of the hotel, were both drunk at the time, and the cop found this out. He actually asked them, and they responded in the affirmative. And he basically put them through what I would call a game of Simon Says, and told them that if they didn't exactly comply with his orders, that he would shoot them and they would die. Now, I can understand threatening to shoot someone if they are posing a clear and present danger. These people were trying their very best, despite their inebriated state of mind, to comply with the police officer's instructions, which were confusing even if you're not inebriated, and I'm sure harder to conform to if you are drunk. So yeah, if you haven't already seen this video, please watch it. I will link both in the description box below, like I said. But what really disturbs me about this case isn't just the fact that the police officer once again shot an unarmed civilian. It isn't just the fact that the unarmed civilian was doing his best to comply with the police officer. What really disturbs me about this more than anything, even more than the shooting itself, is the fact that the police officer, Philip Brailsford, was acquitted of both murder and manslaughter. Now, if you're not familiar with the term manslaughter in terms of what it means in a criminal sense, manslaughter basically means that you killed someone, but you didn't necessarily intend to kill them. Okay? It's quite clear from the repeated warnings that the officer was giving that if they didn't exactly comply with his instructions, that he would shoot them and they would die, that his intention of shooting was in fact to kill them. Not only that, but what we now know, which was not known at the time of the trial, the information was not available to the jury, was that on the police officer's automatic weapon, he had inscribed, etched into the metal, "You're fucked." And that was ruled inadmissible evidence by the judge. The judge decided that that would be too prejudicial. And isn't that kind of the point, though? Doesn't having "you're fucked" etched into your automatic or semi-automatic weapon imply that you've got that weapon because someone's going to die as a result of you having that weapon? Isn't that what "you're fucked" kind of means? Doesn't that show, if not intent to kill, certainly a willingness to kill? Now, you could argue that you shouldn't have a police officer with arms who isn't willing to kill. Prepared to kill, I would grant you that. Willing to kill, slightly different, but I think the nuance is important there. And more to the point, the fact that the judge wouldn't let the jury see this basically, to me, kind of makes me feel like the judge was trying to nudge the jury in the direction of an acquittal anyway. It blows my mind that 12 people of sound mind and conscience could watch that video and come to the conclusion that that wasn't even manslaughter. The guy was shot 5 times for literally not posing a danger. He was shot because he didn't precisely comply with every single motion that the police officer was directing him to do. He looked up when he wasn't supposed to and he got shot for it. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Now, I understand that because the United States has the Second Amendment and there is a certain number of citizens who do possess arms, and some of those people have licenses to carry their arms on them, that the police have to be more vigilant and aware of their own safety, perhaps, than they might do in other countries. However, I learned a shocking statistic over the weekend, and it is 1/3 of all the people in the United States that are murdered by someone they don't know are killed by a police officer. Let that one sink in. 1/3 of all the people in America killed with a gun by someone they didn't know were killed by the cops. There has already been more than 1,100 killings of civilians by the police in 2017. Other civilized countries, those whose cops have guns and those whose cops don't have guns, do not have this problem. So what is it about America that makes it so grave? Why are we giving police officers these kinds of munitions in the first place? Surely a revolver is what most cops used to carry and is all they really ever used to need to carry. And what about tasers? You know, a few years ago I was bitching about tasers getting used a bit more liberally than perhaps they should, but at least a taser's whole point is that it doesn't kill someone. And if all you're talking about is subduing someone so that you can, cuff them, that's what a taser's for. You don't need to shoot someone because they didn't follow your fucking Simon Says exactly perfectly. If you can watch that video and not be outraged by what you see, you've got no soul, as far as I'm concerned. More to the point, if you watch that video, can you come to the same conclusion that the jury did, that the police officer wasn't even guilty of manslaughter? Again, meaning he killed someone without meaning to? No, it was considered a justifiable homicide because the guy didn't comply precisely with the police officer. Since when is not complying with the police officer precisely a capital offense? If a police officer has to use his firearm against a civilian, it should only ever be because they consider that person to be an obvious, clear, and present danger, which would imply, I hope, that the person is attacking either with a weapon or at least attacking in such a way that the officer feels he has no other choice but to shoot. This officer had plenty of fucking choices, and he chose to kill that guy in cold blood. You're fucked. It said so right on his goddamn rifle. I look forward to an interesting and vigorous comment section. All of your comments are welcome. And I look forward to seeing you all again here next week on The Breakfast Club. I'm pretty sure we will be seeing Sister Danger here tomorrow. But if not, I can always drop in another guest host. Until next time, thanks for watching this video, and may all your ups and downs be ups.